Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching or listening in from. I'm Justin Skizik, host of the Rise Up podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with Mr. James Garrett. He's the CEO and founder or co-founder of Garrett Integrated Systems, helping families build smarter, safer, and more reliable homes, mainly across the Pacific Northwest, but he's got big goals. We're going to be expanding probably beyond that. They design everything from smart lighting systems, home controls, to security, energy backup systems. James believes in technology can make life easier, not harder, which it should be, right? So today we're going to talk about how smart homes can bring real comfort, safety, and peace of mind, and why strong home energy systems are quickly becoming a must-have in today's world. James, welcome to the Rise Up podcast, man.
Thank you, Justin. This is nice meeting you, and thank you for having me on.
You bet. So I know that was a bit of an intro, but how about this? I want to hear from your point of view. I gave kind of my synopsis of who you are, what you do at Garrett. So let's kind of go back, if you don't mind. How did it all begin? How did you start Garrett Integrated Systems, and how has it brought you to where you are today?
Gotcha. I started the company in 2014. And the main reason why I started it is just it's been a passion of mine. Technology and electricity has been like a passion of mine since I was a child. So it only seemed naturally fitting that I ended up going in on my own to start my own company. And so, yeah, as of today, I've got working on 21 years in the electrical industry.
Man, when you okay, so how did you get into doing home integrated systems and all that? Because that's your main focus right now, correct?
It
I just
is.
want to. Okay.
I actually discovered it by accident. I was an electrical apprentice 2 years in, and I saw a guy putting speakers in a home, and I was like, started harassing him and asking him what he was doing and how he was doing it, and then harassed him until he finally hired me when I found out, because I was always doing car audio and just playing with audio in my own house as a kid in high school. And so it seemed like a natural progression to go into the low voltage industry, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So so give me an idea of your ideal, let our listeners know, who are your ideal clients? Like, who do you love to work with? Who would be a right fit client for you? And what types of systems? Give people an example of the kind of systems that you put in, like that you've done recently or what.
Gotcha. We work with high net worth individuals and their properties, whether it's their business or their homes, and then we automate their homes to make it simple. A lot of our clients have large scale properties, so they don't want, as an example, they don't want to run around or walk around at the end of the day trying to turn off lights. They just want to hit a button and their whole house shuts down. As a simple case. So that's the idea of that technology needs to make our life simple, and it just needs to be able to kind of anticipate our patterns and how we live our life.
Right. So is it like mostly controlled with like iPad, those kind of things, or like wall or combination thereof?
It's ever evolving. In the earlier days, it was just like keypads on the walls, and nowadays it's very simple. Um, most the At its simplest form is lighting control, in most of these homes, and then at that point you've got keypads that can activate scenes like good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, or like a security scene. If you're next to your bed, you hear a thump at night, you can hit security. It turns on all the lights, interior and exterior of your house, to kind of scare away what would be a possible raccoon. You don't know what it is, but as time has changed, we've got touch panels on walls for some people, mainly app driven, but nowadays there's a lot of voice driven. You can use Siri, you can use Josh AI, you can use Amazon Alexa, but it's becoming a lot more intuitive, where you can say, "Hey Siri, close my window shades," and it will close the window shades in your house.
My microphone was on. You said close, and it closed my browser.
Oh, there you go.
What happened? Okay. So you're probably like,
Voice
what
control at
happened?
its best. I was like, you disappeared. I'm like, whoops.
Dude, you like closed my computer. I was like,
Voice
talking
control
about
makes life simple.
dude, how about appropriate, like for the conversation we're literally having, that you're saying, hey, you can use this and you can close applications, and you close my
Yep.
application. Okay. What was the question I asked you, or where are we talking about? My gosh.
The simplicity of technology, like, I believe that's where we're at, and that's kinda what I was going over of, how it's used in our high-end clientele and the types of homes that we're.
Okay. So picking up where we left off, maybe I might leave this in because it's like kind of funny. It's actually very appropriate. Who
I think it's
knows?
perfect.
Yeah. Uh, okay. Be so using Amazon Alexa, using, voice technology and all of those, that, that's, I can see why you're doing that. So let me kind of talk about AI a little bit and then we'll kind of get into industry because I would love to just see, where,
I can only say so much of what I know.
yeah, that's true. I mean, and it may be what you know and maybe what you're seeing. So, okay.
Yeah.
So with AI, you know, and what you're seeing with home tech, what are some exciting things that you're like, man, this would be amazing to have, or I can see this being integrated into, the technology that we put into people's homes to make their lives easier.
Yeah, I think that with a well-outfitted home, that with the proper platform utilizing AI, the house should be able to adopt to you. Meaning, what I would like to see and what I believe is going to be coming is AI into the home automation platform. And in that is going to be, you're going to get a notification from like your system going, "Hey, I've noticed this routine that you've been doing. Do you want me to create a scene for you that just does it automatically?" Like, because it might track your button presses on your keypads or your open and closing of your window shades, and it's going to notice your patterns, and then it might go and make recommendations of, "Hey, on the super sunny days, I'm going to close the shades halfway for you, so you don't have to do it." So I see that
That's
with
cool.
AI getting included in there is going to be what I always dreamed of is the home of Tony Stark, where it's like
Right.
that's one of the people that I love as far as, what he does.
Yeah.
And so those are the homes that, can really actually we can see that coming in the future.
That that would be super sick. Like, I mean, I can see that, like, it just learns, throughout the day or it can read, has the sensors and can read and be like, "Hey, I noticed you did
Yeah.
this." And like,
Over you can have it be like over a week it detects your habits, right? I mean, like, that's the thing is
yeah.
like that's the stuff that we do with our clients, right? We have our clients live in their home for 6 months and then they like say, "Hey, what are some of the habits that you're noticing? Do you want us to modify any of your scenes for your
Mm,
lighting or your shades?" So it has that kind of built in with the AI, and obviously you as the end user get to override it or say, "Hey, that's a great idea. Let's implement that." Versus having to call a programmer every time you need something.
right. So, like, what okay, let's talk about maybe if it let's say I don't have home automation in my house, okay? So, if I was to be like, "Hey, James, come and take a look at my house and, give me a recommendation of maybe where would be the best place to start?" Like, when you come into a home or either an existing home or a home that you're gonna be, maybe you're working with a builder or an architect, right?
Right.
Because those are some of your clients you partner with as well. What what are the first things that you ask your clients when you meet them for the first time?
Well, it's an interview, right? So you're trying to understand me, I'm trying to understand how you just live in your home and how we can use technology to make that living better, right? Whether it's automated lighting or it's automated window shades, or you are really wanting to save the environment and you want to reduce your carbon footprint and you want to be 100% off grid. I start asking typical interviewing questions just so I can understand where you place value, what's important to you, if that makes sense, because there's so many different things that we can do. Some people go, "I don't care about security," and other people are like, "I want perimeter security around my property." And so we can do all of those, but the typical ones that we begin with are lighting, shades, and then backup power for your property. Those are like the biggest ticket items that have the most traction, meaning the interior designers and our clients are most interested in lighting and window shades because that simplified makes it easy to live in your home.
Right. So, okay, let me kind of run this scenario. So if you come into my house is already wired, right? It's already built and all that. Is it really hard? I mean, dude, I'm like dumb when it comes to this stuff, right? So I don't know. I love the technology, but I'm like, okay, from a practical standpoint, how does it get, like, is it really
That
hard for you to do that? Like,
Not really. There's retrofit. You can retrofit anything. They've got battery operated window shades. And then if you want to do automated lighting in an existing home that was not smart, you can replace traditional light switches with Wi-Fi light switches. But in doing so, you need to have a very robust network because every device is a device on a network, and you can only have so much on a network unless you have a better quality network. You can literally
Got it.
bring
Okay.
a network down by having too much traffic on it. So
Okay.
it's one of
Okay.
those you got to ask all those qualifying questions, and then you can really design a system, and that's what we do. Like we design systems that will work tailored to people for their needs in the home that they're living in.
Is it something that, like, when you build those systems, are they kind of modulated, kind of like Legos? So, like, you kind of do the core system and then you can add to them as people want more automation and home stuff?
For the most part, yes, we do like to know kind of because everything is scalable, right? But there are different products that are only able to be scaled so much versus
Mm.
other products can scale better. Like using my house, I have an enterprise grade network in my house. So I can tell you that the wireless access points in my house are found in Target stores. They use them across the country. But there's other brands out there like Netgear or Ubiquity or some other ones that are smaller scale. So it really depends on the scale of the home. Like if your house is 2,000 square foot, it's going to have different needs than a house that's 20,000 square feet.
Right, right. Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
So
what we do is we typically use a budget calculator. We kind of ask qualifying questions for the client to understand what their needs are, and then we can help come up with like a rough number and make sure we're meeting their vision and their budget.
cool, cool. So what are you like, what's a typical day, cuz you have multiple locations, right? You're in Portland, Seattle, Boise, what other areas in the US?
Those
Your
are the current physical locations that we
physical
have, but we do
locations.
have clients that ask us to travel, and so each location has a 2.5 hour radius that we serve.
Okay, okay. So Pacific Northwest, and you're literally like your Boise office is literally right down the street from me. So
Yes.
they're so what, like, being an owner and, navigating not only the physical locations, but, clients and all that, like, what's a typical day look like for you? I know it's gonna be hard to answer that question, but, like, if you're kinda average it out, what does it look like for you?
Typical day for me is I'm always trying to find problems, if that makes sense. Like meaning like things that we can improve, whether it's client relations, builder relations. So it sounds bad, but I'm always wanting to improve upon what we're at yesterday. So if I can identify problems today that we have and improve them tomorrow, I'm making the company better every day. And I'm making myself better. So my every day is always trying to improve our company, and whether it's building more relationships with builders, architects and designers, or meeting with our clients. I do like to go and meet with our clients as well. So I kind of hop around. I help whether it's in sales or I work hand in hand with my COO, Anthony, in order to make sure our processes and our operations are always improving.
Got it. I mean, I don't think that's bad to say that. I think it's good. I mean, you always gotta be improving, right? Like,
Some people might say it sounds negative, but it's like, I'm
no,
always
it's
wanting to
great.
improve, right? And so by noticing where the cracks are, you can always shore up your foundation.
Yeah. I mean, I kinda look at it this way, like, if you think you've, uh, arrived, you've already failed.
Right. That's the first step of failure. I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
done. I don't need to do anything
I'm
else.
done, I'm great. Yeah. Yeah, no, you can always improve. I wholeheartedly agree
Right.
with you, so I don't think it's negative. Um, what I mean, okay, so we talked about AI. What other major shifts or what other shifts are you seeing in the home tech, space right now in the industry, right?
Power, but power has been when I say power, it's microgrids. And microgrid is like a house that can be fully self-sustainable, not needing a grid connection, or in the event that a grid connection goes down, it can maintain itself. And I've been watching that for 3 years, if not. It took me quite some time on on my personal property,
Mhm.
and the main thing it was because it was so new, and that I didn't have the right contractors doing it, meaning it's such a new product that people didn't know how to do it, and so I had to, like, walk people through how to do my project on my property.
Mm. So, like, would it be example like the Tesla batteries? Like, home batteries? Is that what you're referring to, or other like
Yes.
something similar? Okay,
There's a lot of them out there. So there's manufacturers like Tesla, unless they've improved it, their maximum capacity is a 200 amp service on a property. So they're going after normal 2,000 square foot homes. Once you get to larger homes with like a 400 amp service, then you need two Tesla power walls that you would then need to log in to different apps to then manage the same house. So it gets very complex and cumbersome. There's
so there's other
manufacturers.
solutions that are similar that would.
There's other solutions that are out there that will service up to like 1,600 amp services for the larger estate level projects.
Got it. Okay. Um,
And I had a larger commercial grade service on my property, hence why it was complicated for a lot of people that are used to the smaller systems.
got it. So the challenge or the industry shift right now is that the systems for the larger projects, the larger homes, are the people are not quite the what'd you call it? The
Well,
the
I'm seeing more of the microgrids becoming the thing. Architects are interested in it. There's a growing interest in it. With the grid instability that's out there, there's a growing interest in understanding what it is and how to deploy it on properties. And so that's kind of what I've been seeing over the past few years. I mean, as far as display technologies, they're always changing, they're always reaching for the skies. But that's the big one that I've seen is the microgrids and then AI entering into the automation.
I should put you in touch with somebody I interviewed earlier. We can talk about it offline, but they do like luxury bunkers
That's
too.
cool. Yeah.
I was like, wow, I never knew that was a thing, but okay.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the systems that we deploy, they're scalable to, like I was saying, like 1,600 amp services. And that point, you could do a whole microgrid where it's battery, generator, and solar. You don't even need a grid connection. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh man. Yeah. The conversation I had with him, I was like, wow. Like I mean, obviously I've known about bunkers, but you always think of like these, concrete, uh,
It's a whole nother
boxes.
level. Yeah.
No, these are not like these are like full on functioning, beautifully designed kitchens and like luxury living rooms and like
You wouldn't
wine
even know that
cellars
you're
and stuff.
underground in a bunker. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
you know. Um, so okay, I appreciate you kind of letting me explore that a little bit because I'm just curious. Like I'm just really curious on why and all that, and I can definitely see the value in what you do because it's like I've had the power go out on my house, right? For example, I mean, obviously there's the internal luxury niceties, right? That you provide, like lighting and all that stuff like that. But from a power grid standpoint, and when your power goes out, you don't realize, wow, I'm really dependent upon power.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing is like most people are like, well, I have got a generator, but they don't realize that on average, a generator has a startup. And so your power goes out during that phase. And if you have critical network or security or anything like that, it needs to be on its own backup as well. And
Yeah,
so it's also dirty power. So there's a lot with those microgrids of like, you have clean power, right? Versus dirty power, so the systems monitor that. So it also protects your sensitive electronics against power surges. It gets very complex, but it serves such a great purpose.
cool. Do you guys do work with like hospitals and stuff too? You
Not
know,
yet.
not yet. Is that something
Yeah.
you're wanting to
I'm not
explore, like
I'm not
those kind of
against
microgrid?
going into like hospitality and stuff like that. No, I'm not against that. I
Okay,
think that would be a great opportunity.
cool. I mean, I just want to let people know, hey, if you're watching this or listening to this and you're like, "Hey, this could possibly work for a business
Yeah.
too, not just homes," like
Yeah. Yeah,
look,
there's multiple different options, like, it's scalable into the megawatts of, like, battery storage and what you can do. It's gaining more traction at the residential level, and then if you're in the luxury residential, it'll then begin emerging over into the commercial sector. It's like luxury residential and commercial kind of just, like, feed back and forth.
okay, okay. So what's working well for you right now at Garrett? Like, and because you're you guys you've been in the game for a while. You're growing. You have but what's working well for you, and then what's been the most frustrating part? about growing the business?
Okay. I'm thinking and processing. What's working well or what's the most frustrating? What's working well is the team that we have. We have an awesome team that cares, that loves what they do, and when things get difficult, they don't run away. Like they embrace it. They understand they want to grow through it, and so I think that's the biggest thing. Having a team that backs you, believes your vision, and and understands what's going on. I think that's what's going well, and that's awesome because you're able to achieve anything with a team that's willing to back you up.
So what about challenging? What's been the most frustrating or challenging part of where you're at right now?
Software, um, the our industry sucks when it comes to software for like proposals and service management and stuff like that. I would say that that's the most challenging thing of getting a software that can actually do what it needs to really provide the kind of service that we demand and we expect, if that makes sense. Like outside of our industry, there's platforms out there that are amazing to that give a really good customer experience, and they also help us with getting us the data that we need. And so that's something that we've been struggling for like the past year is like we thought we found a software and it fell apart. When I say fell apart, like some companies will pitch a beautiful software, but when you start using it, you're like, wow, there's a lot of things that fall through the cracks that weren't really there when you demoed it, if that makes sense.
Got it. Yeah, they always like overpromise. It does everything. It'll slice and dice
Yeah.
and like,
It's like your TV when you go to like Best Buy, they have it on the best, brightest, highest resolution, and then you bring it home, you're like, well, this sucks, because they had it calibrated for their store.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Jeez. So what as you're kind of, as you're building the business, what are some metrics that you're most focused on improving?
the biggest thing that I always focus on is client experience. Because if the client experience sucks, then they're gonna tell everybody. But if it goes well, they're gonna tell you. But they'll also tell some of their friends. So I always wanna focus on the customer commitment and the client experience. That's number one. Without our customers, we don't have anything to do.
Yeah,
And
you
so
don't.
if we fail our customers, then it's going to spread and it's bad.
Right. Well, I guess that makes 100% correct. So, like, okay, give me an idea of like what is so if we're having this conversation like, a year from now, what is it? Where we're December 19th, 2025, and we're having a conversation in 2026. Like, like what is business? What would make your life like? What would you consider a successful year, and B, what does kind of like the future of Garrett Systems look like?
Mm,
Kind of like dovetailed in one another. So maybe start with what does the future look like for you? Like if you were to think of a Garrett Integrated Systems, 2.0, like,
'kay.
or 3.0, what does that
Right.
look like for you? And then if we're having if this conversation a year from now, you're like, "Hey, I'm doing check-in with you and, how did the year go?" You're like, "This was awesome."
Yeah, no, I mean, we've got our 10-year vision, our 5-year goal, right? So my ideal for next year would be we be able to serve twice the amount of clients that we did this year. So having a higher capacity to take on more clients with our projects because the amount of projects, not say the amount, the quality of projects, they take a lot of time. Right? And so with those quality projects that take a lot of time, you need a team behind you. And I want to expand our team and continue to expand our team to serve, twice the amount of clients. That would be my goal by 2026,
Okay.
this time
Okay.
of next year.
All right. Well, maybe we'll do a chat. I'll do a check-in with you. Be like, "How do we do, man?"
It's always good to set goals.
We're putting it out into the world. That's how we're gonna do it.
Exactly.
We
I
were
love it.
talking right before this. We're like, 2026. Come on, man. We're both gonna kill it this year. So,
Oh yeah. 2026
I'm
looks really, really bright. There's a lot going on and that's my goal is to expand the team to then keep going with that expansion.
so when you talk about expansion, like, what kind of people are a right fit for your like working for your team? Like, what do you look for in
Passion,
somebody?
I mean, it's like for me, it's passion. Whether it's passion to serve clients or passion for technology, just passion in general, because passion gets you through the crappy days. And we all have crappy days.
Yeah, we do.
So passion will get you through it. And I think with that kind of passion and having that passion, it allows you to push for more of what you believe, right? I encourage people to come up to us if we on our team, like if they feel that there's a better way of doing something, by all means, show me the way. I want to work with our team and not say we're only doing it this way, because if we do that, then it's almost like a dictatorship, and I don't think that really works that well. Meaning
Right,
of it's my way or the highway. Well, my way is not always the right way. I'm always willing to improve my way of doing things.
right. Well, I've talked with a lot of CEOs and founders over the last several years, and then particularly with this podcast, that's been kind of the I've seen that you're kind of echoing something that I've been seeing in the people that have a great vision for the business and do really well is that they let their team help them.
Right.
Ego can get in front of you pretty quick if you're not careful.
And then it
Like,
can
"Hey, this
humble
is
you
my
even
business.
faster.
You work for me. Like, I am the dictator." Like, you're like,
Yeah.
"No." Like, the ones that I've known. So you're right on track with at least what I'm seeing. If that encourages you at all,
Appreciate it.
is that open mind and open heartedness, to lead your team with compassion and understanding.
It's almost like servant leadership, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, we people who are like a CEO or they're at the top, they're really at the bottom, so to speak, because they're trying to hold everyone else up and keep everyone going in the right direction, or trying to steer the ship and help everyone.
Yeah. Well, I applaud you for that. So I have a couple more kind of getting a little bit more introspective. That's kind
Okay.
of a good segue. Is before we hit there, I have one more question for you though. If you could kind of like wave a metaphorical magic wand and fix just one thing in the business that's holding you back or slowing you down, what would that be?
That's a good one. I'm thinking, and so if I could wave a magical wand to fix what would be holding me back and the business back,
Yeah,
well,
what would that be?
I guess it would be something that I'm always trying to wave that magic wand every day, and that's improving myself, because I am the greatest with being the visionary. I am the greatest asset, but I'm also the one that holds the company back from its true potential if I get in the way. And so the magic wand that I would wave is to continue doing what I'm doing, of always trying to improve myself and my leadership capabilities to take my team to where I know they're capable of going. Does that make sense? Because yeah, I've done that before where I'm like, man, I've hit a glass ceiling. Well, retrospectively, I was the one that was creating that glass ceiling to begin with. So
So you'd like Harry Potter yourself.
I would Harry Potter myself. That is true.
Hey, at least you're honest. Like, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. Couple more questions for you. Okay. So looking back at your younger self, what is like, okay, knowing what you know today, what is, and looking back at your younger self, what is one piece of business advice you would give to your younger self? What would that be?
One piece of business advice. That's a good question. I'm thinking of advice that I've tried giving my son, because I always look at him as the younger version of myself and trying to help him on stuff that I never had or went through. Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question I have to ponder. Like, what is the one piece of business advice that I've given to myself? There's
That's
not
fine.
one.
I mean, some people have answers for it. Some people don't. It's no big deal.
Yeah,
Or if
I
you
don't
need
have an
to
answer for that one.
process it, yeah, but maybe we could save it for next year when we're having our 12-year or our 12-month check-in. How's that sound?
That sounds good. No, that's a really good question though, because you have to think of hard of, if I was to go back and give myself one piece of advice that I know that would change the trajectory of my life, that's something you have to really think on.
Yeah. Well,
So,
maybe you could. email me and let me know what you think. And once you find it, you know what it's probably going to be is like right in the middle of the middle of the night as you're going to bed or something. You'd be like, ah,
Like,
that's
I
what it
figured it out.
is. Oh, yeah. All right. All right. This is kind of an easier one. Actually, I have two more. I lied to you. I have two more, but this is a good one. And I think it might be a little bit easier for you to answer. Is okay. You're running a business, right? You have a team, you have multiple locations, you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with customer service issues. I mean, it's endless, right? The journey of entrepreneurship. What are you doing in your own kind of personal life? And you don't need to go into specifics here. I'm just kind of looking at broad stroke to keep yourself sane, to keep yourself healthy. Because I'm assuming that when you're building a business, you can go all the time. And before you know it, you're burning candles at both ends and all of that, right? There's
Right,
always something to deal with. So it's important to pause and be a dad, be a husband if you're married or whatever, right? Like,
right.
what do you do? Like, what keeps you energized? What keeps you hopeful? What keeps you sane?
I would say 99% of the time it's my family. I say the 1% is when all hell's breaking loose at home because it happens, right, with kids.
Yep.
I I
Yeah.
I was a difficult child growing up, but I wouldn't change that because it made me who I am, right? So, spending time with my kids is and my wife is super important. Family is super important because they're the reason why I do everything that I do. So, that and I am I'm a big fan of the Second Amendment, and so I like to exercise that at times, going to the shooting range. That for me is really peaceful. As crazy as it sounds, it's just that is something that requires a lot of attention and you have to drain out. You have to, get rid of all the outside noise. And so that really
Right.
helps me to reset as well. So family and guns.
All right. All right. And how many kids do you have? Two. All right. I have three myself. So, and how old are your kids?
I've got a 10-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl.
Okay. You got one of each.
Yep.
That's nice. Yeah,
That
10,
was
10 is an
perfect. I
interesting.
was done.
Yeah, you're like, you got it. You checked it off. I have two boys and a girl. Um, and I tell you, they are two different animals
Yeah. Yeah.
by far. Mine are a little older. I have 22-year-old, 20-year-old boys. One's in college, one's out of college already, and the other one is in high school, so she's a junior.
Yeah,
But I
it's
got,
fun
I
because
got,
you'll have one that's like, say, daddy's girl, right? You have that relationship, and then you got the boys that are constantly challenging you. They can't agree with you. It's like it's fighting for the head of the household, and it's like, oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah, and I got two of them, so it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know, um, but yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's like raising a family is, it really does open your eyes to, well, at least for me, you know, it opens your eyes to how can you be better, like as a person, right? And I've had to apologize. I've had to swallow the pill as a dad. I mean, I've made mistakes, and that's part of it. Like you're not perfect. I was kind
That's
of
how you
like you.
learn.
Yeah, that's how you learn, right? You learn to be better. Like we talked about early on, right? It's you if you think you've arrived, you've already failed.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Things you're
okay.
like, "Things are going too smoothly. I don't understand what's going on right now."
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, "Uh-oh, what's going on here?" Am I on a camera show? Like, what's going on here? Okay, last question. This is an easy one. This is an easy one. Uh, is like, what's anything particular you like to promote or highlight that we haven't covered in today's, time together?
Um, I do have like of these companies, the Garrett Integrated Systems that I started back in 2014. And in the fall of 2024, I created another startup. And it's called Garrett Energy, and that's the company that I started out of frustrations of my own personal home, that specializes in electrical and microgrids. And so those are my two kids outside of my kids.
Right, right. Is that a different website than Garrett Systems dot is it .net? Garrett is your
Yeah,
main website.
yeah,
I'll
it's
put
just
it in the links, the link
yeah, it's
in below.
GarrettSystems.net is the our Garrett Integrated Systems, and then GarrettEnergy.net is the other one, I believe.
Cool. Okay.
It's still starting up. It's not near to the size and scope that Garrett Integrated Systems is, but it will be with time.
Okay. Hey, look at that. I love it. I love it. Uh, I'll make sure I'll make sure I put the notes below, in the show notes so people can get a hold of you, uh,
Yeah.
and if they're
No, we
interested with you or whatever. So
yeah, no, and we work really well. So I guess one final thing is we're HTA certified design partners, and HTA certification is very important in our industry. There's only a handful of companies that are actually HTA certified. And what that means is the Home Technology Association. We work very well with interior designers, architects, and builders, whereas other companies in our space, a lot of them like to butt heads, where we actually will listen to the interior designers, compliment their work, and work well with them from the very beginning.
awesome. So
Yep.
HTA certified. Look at that.
Yep.
One of a very few. So
Yeah, no,
congratulations
like
on it. That's a big deal.
yeah, yeah,
So
we're one of 3 in each market. There's only 3 companies in the Portland market, the Seattle market, and the Boise market. We're one of those 3.
man, look at you guys killing it.
Yeah.
Doing a great job. Well, hey, James, dude, I appreciate our time together. You're amazing. And if nobody's told you this today, I'm gonna tell you, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of everything you've done. I'm proud of, the balancing act of being a parent and husband and having a personal life, but also running a business that you're constantly, putting a lot of energy to. And the new baby that you're launching too with the Garrett Energy Systems. I just wish the best for you. And if somebody is interested in partnering with you, definitely reach out to him, get a hold of him and his team. They'll take care of you. They do amazing, amazing work. And I would love to have you at my home someday. There you go. Make sure you don't turn off my computer though. Kind of makes it hard for me to do podcasts. So
That's so
that's really
fun.
funny. What a way to button that up. But hey, James, appreciate it, man. I wish you the very best in 2026 and beyond. And that wraps up today's episode on the Rise Up podcast. James Garrett from Garrett Integrated Systems. Amazing. I wish you the best. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy.